Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. As we have been talking about over the past 14 episodes about the Baqee Cemetery and the Rebuilding Baqee Campaign, I do want to highlight one thing. For every action, there is an opposite reaction. It's a common theorem, common law of physics. So, whenever we do something that has positive consequences, if we do not do that, there are negative consequences of the same action. So, today we will delve into the consequences of not remembering our history. Because last time we talked about the positive aspects and the examples of nations who preserve the history and what is the benefit of doing that. But today I'm going to talk about what are the negative consequences of not remembering the history. And we're going to draw from examples from around the world, teachings of the Quran and narrations from the prophet himself. As we explore these lessons, let's remember the importance of preserving our past for the sake of our present and our future. Throughout history, we have seen that when nations and societies forget their past, they often lose the sight of their values, principles, and direction. The Holy Quran reminds us of this saying, and do not be like those who forgot Allah, so He made them forget themselves. Those are the defiantly disobedient. Forgetting our history can lead to disunity, confusion, and a weakened sense of purpose. And without a sense of purpose and a clarity in vision, we are just random beings who are going about our lives without having a clear direction of where we need to go. The ancient civilizations of, for example, Maya, or there are so many other civilizations, they serve as prime examples of the consequences of losing touch with one's past. Their once great cities and monuments have been left to crumble and in ruins. Although there are like a lot of different reasons why their cities have been ruined, but one of them is the erosion of the cultural heritage, and historical memory played a significant role in their downfall. Now, similar example considers from the fate of once mighty Roman Empire. As it grew and expanded, it lost core values and principles that once held it together and made it great. Corruption, decadence, and internal strife eventually led to the collapse of this mighty empire, leaving behind a legacy of lost potential. Now, our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has emphasized the importance of remembering and honoring our past, and the Quran mentions many stories from the past as an example. The stories of Pharaoh, the story of Qawm Samud and Ad, stories of the people of Noah, the stories of the people of Shoaib, the story about Bani Israel from the time of Musa to the time of Prophet Isa. All of these stories are mentioned in the Quran. They are examples so that we do what was done who by the people who were blessed, and we do not do what was done by the people who were cursed. This profound wisdom in the Quran and from the traditions of the Prophet underscores the value of maintaining a connection with our history, as it provides us with guidance, inspiration, and a sense of belonging. In this context, the desecration and neglect of the Baqi Cemetery is not only a consequence or a desecration of the memory of the Prophet's family and companions, but it has threatened our collective spiritual well being. It has inflicted our core. It has changed the dimension of thinking. It has changed the way that for 1300 years Muslims thought about history to something over the past 100 years where Muslims are being forced to think like by falling and failing to preserve and honor the imams of Allah, imams of the Prophet's progeny. We risk severing our ties with our shared Islamic heritage, which has already led to disunity and confusion among the global Muslims. As believers and lovers of truth, it is our responsibility to come together to remember and honor our past. By doing so, we can learn from the examples of those who have gone before us, build upon their achievements, and work together towards a future that is guided by the values and principles that was embodied by those first leaders, those who laid the foundation of Islam. The Rebuild Baqee campaign is a really important and fundamental step in this direction, as it seeks to restore and preserve the sacred resting place of our spiritual ancestors. And for those who are literally the cause of the creation of the universe, the four imams from the progeny of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Thank you, my dear brothers and sisters, for joining us on this episode 15 of our podcast series. We hope you will continue to support the Rebuild Baqee campaign by sharing our message with your friends, family, and community members. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.